Alright, another one. This time, as you may recognize, Avatar. People from Avatar, The Last Airbender specifically, not the Blue People show. Alrighty. So, let me think. Let's get a couple obvious ones out of the way. Zuko, S tier. Literally, is he my favorite character in the show? Yeah, yeah, he is. He's my favorite character. Zuko's number one. Uncle Iroh, number mm, number two or number three character. We'll see later. Let's see. Momo. What a wonderful picture that is. Momo gets a solid kiss. I don't know if it could be A. Mm, uh, high B, low A. High B, low A. We'll just put high B for now. Can bump him up later depending on who's here. Monkeyatso. S tier? He just seemed like a goat. Just, I wish I knew that guy. I need somebody like him in my life. The old lad, the last Airbender avatar. The last Airbender avatar. I don't know enough about her really. Can I have like an undecided? I don't know. C tier. Let's see. Sozin. Sozin's A tier. Not because he's like actually, not because he's an A tier guy. He's definitely not an A tier kind of guy. But the character is wonderful. I like the idea of just his story. With shoot, been a minute, been a minute. Roku, with the Roku. He watched Roku every single day. It was beautiful. Brings me back to my old days. My grandparents' house. They always have Roku. Speaking of Roku, Avatar Roku, honestly, kind of liked him less than Sozin. Might still be A tier. Like bottom of A tier though. I don't know. He seemed like just more of a generic character. Like, oh, he's just a good guy, and then he went to be the Avatar, and then he came back, and he had a friend who was doing some not so cool stuff because they're friends. He let it go. It's just, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of depth there. Like, he's a good guy. He's a fine character. There's nothing wrong with it, but it isn't. It isn't revolutionary. You know, a top of B tier or just B tier in general. Nothing crazy there, but I like this idea. They have something going on here with that. You're not Pipsqueak. You're Pipsqueak. There's freaking Inky, Binky, and Clyde, the trio over here. Well, I'm pretty sure this was Pipsqueak. Pipsqueak can go in C tier. Nothing wrong. Nothing too crazy. Kind of like this guy. I forgot his name. I forgot both of these two. I feel like I almost remember this girl, but I think that's the rank for it for me. I'm putting them above her because I actually know more about them. Oh yeah, this guy. I can't forget about him. Long shot, I think. Long shot's kind of a goat. Not more than Momo though. Momo goes above Sozin. Sozin can actually go at the back. All right. The Earthbender guy that they help, and then he comes back and he's like, yeah, thank you for help. Gee. I mean, he's not a bad guy, but I feel like there's just nothing about him. He doesn't stand out. He isn't too crazy. There's nothing super unique. Honestly, some of my some of the, I don't, the episodes that focus on him in this story are not my favorite, anyways. This guy kind of goes for the same reason, except you see even less of him. So I'm just gonna put him below. Kyoshi. Kyoshi kind of seemed like a dick. I don't really like Kyoshi. Just from what I've seen. I forgot his name, but he was all right. Reordering. Where do you go in here? You're definitely not. Well, you might be B tier. I don't know. I feel like I don't know enough about you to put you in B tier, but you can go there. You seem chill. God, How do I not remember their dad? Chief. Chief. I'm just going Chief. Big boss. Chief man. You can go B tier. You're fine. I feel like you might go right below Momo. It's not a whole heck of a lot there. He's kind of like a standard father character. He's like Stoic from How to Train Your Dragon. If Stoic actually listened to Hiccup, just Chief, big boss Chief man, father dude. This old the not Sozin, but Azulon, Fire Lord Azulon. He seemed kind of like a chill dude, low key. I mean, he didn't want to kill Iroh or whatever it was to get him in power instead. So that automatically puts him in a B tier as B tier. He kind of seemed more interesting than Roku, so I'm gonna put you above that streaming service or whatever platform it is. I don't know what Roku is exactly. Might go there. See too little of him to put him any higher, but he seemed kind of cool. I wish we saw more. Appa. I'm gonna get so much heat, but I feel like you can't put the animal sidekicks that have no words anything above A tier, and I just feel like neither of them are quite worthy of A tier. Like they don't have necessarily character development. They don't have. I mean, they both have kind of stories, but they're mostly comedic relief and marketable characters. Nothing against them. That they're at the top of B tier for a reason. I like them more than these characters. Like they're classics. They are marketable for a reason, but they just can't be A tier. How am I supposed to rank this? The panda spirit, whatever, of the forest, of the whatever the thing. How am I supposed to rank this? You have to go below this. I mean, you just turns into a panda. He grabs somebody, runs away, then turns into a panda when it's done. It's okay. I'll go for a big one. Sokka. I mean, Sokka's got to be S tier, but where on S tier? Loki, one of my favorite characters in the show. I think he has the most, other than Zuko. Zuko and Sokka, I feel like have the most impressive arcs. Like they're amazingly developed. I think you might go second on S tier for me so far. Okay, let's get the trifecta complete and get goodness. What's your name? I don't feel like wasting time. Last one was way too long. You not on it. I like what they were going for here with his character. I like the idea of somebody who had a traumatic past, grew up trying to serve justice to those who are undeniably in the wrong here, but doing so in a wrong way himself. He's going about it the same way that they would. And he kind of comes to realize that at the end and helps, and he has ups and downs, and the interest thing he has with Katara is kind of cool. So he's at least B tier, but I feel like he ends up being kind of shallow. Like they really lean in that he just wants revenge and he's gonna make these bad choices to do it. And I feel like they could have added a little more depth to his character just looking at how cruel these characters were, or even other characters like Azulon, or who else here has good character depth? I mean, that's actually the biggest reason why most of the characters here are C or B, is you either don't see them enough or they don't really have distinguishable characters. So you're gonna go B, but actually I might shuffle these two. I don't know. These two are about tied. Where do you go? Definitely better than these three, but do I like you more than those two? I think so. You can go there. It's got his name is right on the edge of my tongue, or whatever the saying is. Old fire soldier dude that I also forgot his name. General something. He was chill. I like how he shows up again later as in the Order of the White Lotus. He's a cool dude. I liked his deal with Aang, his lesson of why he couldn't control fire, or how to, like, you gotta control it. But I don't know, his whole arc was really cool. This guy, another Order of the White Lotus, I think he's in the Order of the White Lotus. Oh, whatever he is, definitely not as cool. I don't think C tier though. I like his arc with the daughter and Granny more than Sozin though. I kind of thought he was a little bit of a hard ass, so I might leave him there. He's chill. Nothing too crazy though. The spirit dude that steals your face if you show any like emotions in front of him. Once again, another one of those things where you don't really see a lot of them. I'm gonna put him top of C tier because I like the idea and the design, but he only shows up a whole of like one time, and it's kind of unfortunate. Okay, we're kind of coming down to some interesting ones here. Cabbage Man S tier, bottom of S tier, but S tier. No further elaboration needed. Admiral what? Zhao. I think it was Zhao. Admiral Zhao or Chow. My dog's opening my door. Once again, I kind of wish he had more of an arc. They had a little bit of something. Like they hinted at some interests, some conflict, some real character development there when there was the moon and like the white and dark fish that are the moon spirits or whatever. And he didn't kill them immediately, but then I'm forgetting exactly what happened, but you could tell there was some like regret or inner thought there, and then his pride thing with not reaching out for help when he was getting pulled under. It's just, if they just elaborated, made his character more in depth, but for a while there it just seemed like he was kind of a villain to be a villain. So he's B tier, but not more than these characters. I need to close my door. Alright, cool. Next up is... Goodness, what's her name? I can't believe I don't remember Zuko's mom. Whatever her name is. Urza? I don't know why I'm thinking Urza. It's almost definitely not Urza, but I don't know. We don't see a whole lot of her. She obviously made some cool decisions, so maybe like bottom of B tier. But I honestly am like tempted to put her top of C tier. Like obviously she impacted the story greatly. She had a lot of positive impact on Zuko. It was important to the story, and if you read the light novels and stuff, you get more about her story and things, and that would bump her up. But looking at just the show, you can't see enough of her to make any like connection at all. So she's gonna say C tier. Let's see. Goodness, another character that I for some reason can't get the name of, even though it's right there. I know who you are. I know everything that happens with you in the story, but I can't remember your name. Whatever it is, definitely not S tier. Is it A tier though? Is he A tier? That'd be top of B. I feel like top of B. I don't know, for some reason I feel like I don't want to put him in A tier, cause he is a little bit over the top with the crazy. I feel like sometimes he seems a little underwhelming for him being a king. I like the whole thing about him getting that neutral Jing or neutral chi or whatever for earthbending, and him like staying in the coffin, because that's what earthbending's all about, and that was cool. I wish he did more stuff like that, or in the Order of the White Lotus he takes himself a little more seriously. But just because of all like the weird shenanigans, it comes off a little more childish than I'd like. I don't know if he could go A tier. It would either be very bottom of A or top of B. For now, I'm gonna move him top of A or bottom of A for now, and I might move him back down. Granny, you gotta be A tier. Granny's A tier, definitely above him. I don't know if she's above those two though. Well, yeah, I like that. All right, that's chill. Granny's obviously A tier. Okay, evil grandma. Evil grandma's like here. I liked her less than Admiral Zhao. She was another character that like could have some potential there. She had that sad backstory, her twist at the end, and then she just kind of became evil, and then was like, rah, I like bloodbending, and you're gonna bloodbend too because for some reason I don't know why she wants like this line of bloodbenders or why she cares so much that Katara bloodbends. Like that doesn't immediately make her like I don't know what goal she had. It just comes off a little confusing. She's just kind of crazy. She's there just to add some drama to Katara. Which, speaking of Katara, I actually would not say Katara's an S tier. She's A tier, top of A tier. But I just feel like she obviously grows a lot. Being one of the main cast, she grows a lot and has a lot of story, a lot of focus. But it just doesn't seem to have like the same impact for me, the same wow factor from beginning to end. And I feel like a lot of her stories just well they are impactful for her and her character. They don't make me feel any significant emotions. So just because of that, she's top of A tier, of course, but just not there. Let's see. I'm getting she was fine. I kind of didn't like how she was just kind of there to be Sokka's love interest for the most part, and a couple important plot things. She never really did a whole lot or had a whole lot of character necessarily. You don't get to really know her interests, know her passions, other than she meets Sokka, and he's like funny, so she likes him, and then she's I don't know fish. She's a fish now, fish moon lady. I don't know. I can't say. Okay. Suki. Suki's definitely good. Definitely B tier at least. I don't know if she's A tier. Bottom of A, top of very top of B. Bottom of A, very top of B. Do I like her more than? God, I still can't remember his name. Do I like her more than him? Once again, I don't like how easily she falls for Sokka. It feels like a little, like it happens a little fast. I can understand that way more though than hers. It's developed relatively nicely. She has a solid character. I guess I like her more than him, which means I might bump him down. No, I'll keep him there. That's fine. I think you can stay in A tier. Okay, there's a couple here that are very similar for me, and for a very specific way. What's the you two? But you two. So, 3 different stages. When I was really young and I watched Avatar, I had crushes on all 3 of these characters for very different reasons. When I was super young, it was Toph, of course. I always kind of liked Ty Lee. And then most recently, it was May. I was like, damn. That's nice. Anyways, Toph, they like more than Katara? I think so. Is she S tier, though? She shows up so late in the story that there's a lot less to go off of here. So it feels less impactful. It feels like there's less. But I think what there is an S tier character. I really like Toph. Toph was kind of fun. Let's see. Then back to the other 2 girls. As much as I'd love to put them in S tier just because of like I don't know their age, so I don't want to say anything like super crazy here, but at least I think they're both still A tier. Ignoring the other factors and looking straight at character, they both have mostly Ty Lee has like a story, plot development thing, change of heart deal. May's is kind of intertwined with Zuko's, and only later on in the books and stuff do they really have anything interesting going on with her. So Ty Lee, honestly, I thought Ty Lee was more interesting than her. Maybe him too. Not Granny though. As for you, if it was up to me, she'd be S tier. But looking character wise, she might be like top of B tier. She doesn't do a whole lot. She's the first to go with Zuko, and that means a lot. But then Zuko kind of just like nah, and that ends at some point. And so I don't know. She's my favorite Personal favorite character. Other than Zuko, no. Zuko's still my personal favorite. I feel like we could be bros. And then hey. Moving on from that, I guess Azula. Azula's kind of hot too. Not as much as her or Ty Lee, but I like her deal with her kind of spiraling out, going a little cuckoo cuckoo. I don't think anybody who's seen the show knows what I'm talking about, so I don't think I have to really elaborate more. Do I like her more than Katara? Honestly, yeah. I don't know if she's S tier though. Bottom, very bottom of S tier or very top of A tier. Yeesh. I'm gonna keep S tier for the real goats though, so she's gonna stay top of A tier. Tracker, bounty hunter lady, she's chill. Doesn't get a whole lot of like development or anything, and she only shows up a couple times, so she's gonna be very bottom of B or very top of C. I don't know. I'll just leave you there. That's cool. Okay, then we have Swordmaster dude. I forgot his name. Another White Lotus dude. He was really cool. I liked his thing. Doesn't show up really enough though. I feel like to be an A character. Nah, actually, I really liked him when he was there, so he's staying there. Okay, arguably two of the most important characters. Inarguably two of the most important characters. Who should I start with? Probably Aang last. Aang should be the finale. Alright. The big bad. Where? Okay, obviously not F, not D, not C, not B. A or S? Okay. This is hard. Okay, looking at the facts, how I feel about things, and comparing it to what I said about other characters, there's a knock here. He's just kind of evil for being evil. And this is, once again, just looking at the show and not at the books or novels or light novels or any of the story extra stuff. So in the show, he's just kind of evil for being evil. So that's a knock. A point in his favor is how they portray his character as being very intimidating. They do a great job with the symbolism and the Fire Nation stuff, and just like it's good. It's great. So that's a point. Another knock. I feel like the final battle there's nothing wrong with it. It's great looking at Aang. It's a great final battle for Aang, but I feel like for Sozin, it was just, I don't know. I was hoping for a little more there. Not for Sozin. Why did I say Sozin? Ugh. I'm tired. Anyways, top of A tier. I don't think he's S. The way they handle him in the world is S tier world building, but his character is not S tier. Aang, obviously S tier, but where? I like him more than Katara. Cabbage Man. Monkeyatzo. This is hard. Uncle Iroh. Yeah, but he stops there. Zuko's my favorite character. I think he's the best character in the show. That's a very popular opinion. I'm not saying anything crazy. Sokka. I actually like Sokka's character more than Aang. I'm not saying I like Sokka more than Aang, necessarily, but just he's, I think, a better character. Uncle Iroh is good. Like, amazing. Everybody loves Uncle Iroh. Uncle Iroh, great advice. Funny. Not too funny, where he's a comedic relief all the time. Where he is a comedic relief, but not in a way that detracts from his character. One of the saddest moments in the show is him with his son, or I think it was his son. Yeah. And obviously the stuff with Zuko is just so good. The only issue is, and he does have character development, don't get me wrong, he changes a lot throughout the story, but I feel like there should have been a little more. Not that no, okay, I should reword that. There shouldn't have been more. There was the right amount. But if you wanted to say that he's a better character than Aang, there needed to be more. Aang, every single season of the 4 books, Earth, Water, Fire, or Wind, whatever the each element thingy, each of the 3 Delios, he changes a lot. He learns. That's the whole deal. Is you're building him up, building up his skill with the elements of them, of course, but who he is as a person, and he ages up. So there's just immense development there. He's there in almost every important arc. The final battle, everything, it revolves around Aang. And honestly, I find Aang kind of annoying sometimes. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. He's a little annoying. Like, I enjoy seeing Iroh more. But Aang is just, I feel like he's a better character. Anyways, that's the list. Poor Kyoshi, but she's kind of a jackass, so I don't really care. There it is. Avatar tier list.